Justin from UVA, and today we're having a chat with Kelly, one of our marketing specialists, so you can get to know her. So, Kelly, tell us a
Hi.
little bit about when you started with us, your career to date, and what your zone of genius is.
Yes, of course. I was actually thinking about this morning because I got a notification that it's my anniversary with your VA this week.
Oh, it's nearly time for annual review.
I did get that email as well, but so I have been with your VA for it must be 2 years now, not 3. I thought it was 3, but it's 2, which has been really awesome. So I after high school went to Massey University, studied a Bachelor of Communications in Marketing Management, and after that got a job pretty much straight away in the retail sector. So I did marketing for Westfield shopping centres, and then I actually started my own business about 5 years ago, and then along came your VA. So
Lucky us.
I know, right? Lucky me. So that's kind of what I've been doing to date. So yeah.
Well, we're lucky that you found us. Just a quick segue. Westfield marketing. There's been that talk on the news about those targeting digital billboards kind of thing.
So that was actually, they're going to kill me for saying Westfield, because what actually happened was Westfield used to own it, and then a new company came in and bought out the Wellington ones, and then there was one in Hamilton and one in Auckland, and we used to be like, it's not Westfield anymore, it's different rules, but that's just what everyone knows it as. So yes,
That's
that was fun
for you.
Pardon?
That's branding for you.
I know, right? I know. But you get so embedded, especially across Australia, like it's so hard to change. It's just what it's always been, and I think people always refer to it as Westfield, but yeah.
So I can't blame you if I'm at the mall, which I hate, and I see all these old lady ads, because I've recognised my demographic from my face.
Yes, look.
Yes.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay. So tell me what a day in your life working with us looks like. What's an average day?
Oh, every day is different, which I think that's one of the good things, because when you're in an office job and you turn up at 9 and you kind of have the same routine, and it tends to get a bit, I don't want to say boring, but it can get a bit repetitive. So for me, I've got 2 kids. I've got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old.
They sleeping right now, Kelly?
You know what? They are sleeping, but I don't want to talk too loud. So I have 1 and 2-year-old, and they're at home with me. So a lot of my day-to-day working life is definitely based around them, which is my preference, absolutely. And it's awesome that when you're working from home you can be so flexible. So I tend to do most of my work either when they're sleeping, if they're sleeping, and in the evenings. But again, I actually find that works for me, because I actually concentrate so much better in the evening after like a busy day. You can sit down, have a glass of wine, and do some work, and that's like, I'm a bit of a night owl, so that tends to work for me. And then obviously on the weekends I do a lot of work, and then if the kids are at grandma's house or at kindy, I do work then as well. So I mean, every day is different depending on what I've got on. But yeah, definitely tends to be based around the family life, which is good.
Which is how it should be, family first.
Exactly.
So tell me a bit about which of our clients you're working with and what you're doing for them.
Yes, so probably the main one would be Cairns, so Celebrants Aotearoa New Zealand. So I've worked with them, I think coming up a year now, which is pretty cool. So they are, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of them, but they're celebrants all around New Zealand, and I do their social media and marketing. So I think we do 25 hours a month for them, and it's a whole range of tasks. So a lot of it is creating the social media calendar, deciding what they're going to post, creating the content, scheduling the content. We do a couple of blogs a month on varying topics to go out to their audience. There's, I mean, obviously the monthly reports to see how they're doing with their social media and marketing, and then any like generic tasks that come up. So if they've got, an advert that they need doing, or they need they've just had their annual conference, so there was a lot of work around that, doing different advertising for that and trying to get ticket sales up. So that's really enjoyable. It's something that I really relate with them. So they're a great bunch of people. So I'm really enjoying that as well. And then most recently would be doing the work for your VA, which has been super exciting. So
for both of us, you're breathing life into our stagnant marketing strategy.
No.
So for anyone watching this, I just totally overwhelmed Kelly with all these different plans we've got, what's working, what's not.
Yeah.
And she made sense out of it and pulled together an actionable plan.
No, it was good. So I'm really enjoying that as well. I like when it's almost quite good when you get given a new project, and even if it's the same sort of thing, like, it's doing social media and it's doing all this different things, when it's a different company, you can kind of try different things, which is really exciting. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that a bit more. And see where we go with that. So yeah, those would be my two that I'm doing at the moment. And then obviously you do get the ad hoc work that comes through, which is nice little filler jobs as well. So been doing some social media audits for Pet Refuge, which has been quite cool. I mean, the opportunities are endless, aren't they?
They are. And the variety it's what keeps you fresh and
yes
and learning.
Exactly. And that's what I'm loving so much about working from home and working for myself, is because when you have that 9-to-5 job and it just becomes so repetitive, and sometimes, even though you like the work, sometimes it can just be a bit like a bit mundane,
Groundhog Day.
And then if I'm finding that I'm getting real stuck down in a task with something like this, I can always just flick to another client and see what I can do to kind of change my mindset. So yeah, that's always good.
Okay, so for anyone watching this video that owns a business, what's one piece of advice you'd give them that's within your zone of expertise?
Oh my gosh, one piece of advice. Do you know what? I think it's what I actually said to you a couple of weeks ago, and that was, I am always, rather than doing 10 things half-assed and trying to do too many things, I am such a believer in just pick one thing, 2 things, 3 things. I don't care. Just pick whatever you've got capability to do and just do them really well. Just go back to basics. Look at your marketing strategy. Have you got one? Do you need one? What are you who are you trying to talk to, and what are you trying to sell? And then just go back to the real baseline of, what can I do to talk to my customers? Where are they? Go back to basics. I'm always, don't be trying to do all this crazy stuff on the side if you haven't got your basic marketing sorted, because it'll crumble you.
And I will say that you have pulled me back really nicely on a couple of shiny bright objects.
No, those shiny objects, sometimes they're fun.
Them really well, Kelly.
So I love it when, I think it was Steph, and she said, actually, we're just going to park that for now, and we're going to come back to that when we've finished what we're doing. I love that line. That's so good.
Oh, you guys are no fun.
No, the shiny object stuff is so good, and I love doing it, but only when you've actually finished the basics.
The one thing. Yeah. I agree with that. It's just hard to do it yourself.
I know. It is hard. And it's you know what? It's even harder, like, here's me saying, oh, just go back to your marketing basics. But sometimes if you've got nothing, it can be really overwhelming when you are like, oh my gosh, there's so many options, there's so many platforms, there's so many different website hosting places. Like, it can be so overwhelming. So yeah, I mean,
take a breath and go simple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So tell me what you love, and I think you've kind of covered it. But what do you really love about working here at your VA? Remembering that your annual review is just around the corner.
I know, I might not be here next week. No, jokes. One thing I love working at your VA. Oh, look, I'll give you 2 things. Can I have 2 things?
You can have 10.
I'll go 2 things. Okay. One thing I love working specifically with your VA would be the teamwork, because sometimes when you work for yourself or you're working at home, even if you have that team environment, like, sometimes it can get quite lonely, especially when I'm at home watching Coco Melon all day. Like it can,
Yeah.
it can get a little bit lonely. And so it's really nice that we have our team chat and we can all jump on. And, you know, sometimes that's work related and it's who's got this link or it's who's got piece of advice for this. But sometimes it's someone uploading a photo of their dog. And I love that. Like, it's just, yeah. So having probably that community feel is really nice, and just knowing that, you know, if there's that support network. So it's like, you know, if I've got commitments for one client and then one of the kids gets sick or I get sick, I know that there's, you know, a backup VA or there's heaps of other people in the team who have got the same skill sets that can step in or help me out with something that I'm struggling with. So I think that's, you know, great when you're working for a team, because if you're working by yourself, I mean, you don't have that.
That
so
stops. Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be, I actually just covered off my two things in one, so I rolled it into one for you. But yeah, definitely the team atmosphere is awesome, and just having that backup when things go wrong, because they do.
And you asked our team on Slack the other day about what they love about working from home, and I said not being able to see how long people are taking for lunch. I believe you get to see the best of people, you know, because they turn on Slack or come to a Zoom when they're in the mood. So you don't get all those little things that, you know, might bug you about someone, but like being married. Yeah.
Oh.
We won't go there. Okay. Tell me a professional and a personal win you've had recently.
Oh gosh. Okay. A personal win. It's a big one for me, but it's probably everyone's probably going to see this and be like, what the heck? But for me, so my oldest is 2 and what did I say? He's 2.5. And he's a bit of a mama's boy. And so I've kept him out of any kind of childcare for 2.5 years. And I was like, okay, I'm at this crossroads now where I'm like, I'm either starting to say no to work, and that's like my passion, just to keep him home, or we look at some childcare options. So last month he started going to home-based cares, which is really cool, and he's only going 8 till 12 2 days a week, so it's really only 8 hours, but we're getting used to it, and then we'll build ourselves up. But that was a big personal one for me, because it was just like getting over myself and having to put your trust with, you know, putting your child with someone else is like so stressful sometimes. But
what does Tommy think of it?
He calls it school, which is really cute, and he's got a dinosaur backpack, but typical daycare vibes. Like, he's only been, I think, 3 times, because the rest of the time he's been sick. So
yeah,
it'll get better, I'm sure. And a professional one, I think probably the biggest one for me was that, and I'm not a numbers girl, I'm going to front this and say I'm not a numbers girl at all, it's not my strong point, but at the start of this financial year, I decided my one goal this year for my business will be to just either match or do a little bit better on my total income of what I did last year. And then, what are we now? Are we July?
Yes.
So 2 months into the financial year, I'd done my entire year last year in 2 months. And I was like,
huge one.
I know, yeah. So I was really happy with that, because I was working my butt off trying to, like, you know, pick up new clients and do heaps of work and stuff. So that's really exciting and makes it all worth it, obviously, putting him in care and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, congratulations, Kelly. And I know you've got your own clients and you're working with us. Just from my experience, anyone that's working with you is pretty damn lucky.
Oh,
yeah, you're a breath of light. and a bit growly, because that's why we're doing this video, because you said we had to do video.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, thank you so much for talking with me today and sharing some of that. And yeah, thank you.
No worries at all.